Hello, guys. Today we're going to be looking at Researching Your Argument, Chapter 9 in your textbook from the Well Crafted Argument Guide and Reader by White and Billings. So today's lesson is pretty much on researching and the nature of research. All right. Okay, let's get started. All right, so the nature of research, first of all, there's no law that says that research has to be tedious. In fact, Ken McCurry liked to refer to researching as searching because it gave research an element of adventure. And this, I find this to be true. When I do research on my own, I find this kind of intriguing, just finding out more and more of a certain topic that I'm really interested in. But of course, research does have a no nonsense aspect to it that has to do with presenting your premise and then backing it up with reliable data. So there's some validity to that. And one major reason for writing an argument is to present a topic in a new light. At the same time, you also want to inform your readers of old information and relevant information and maybe some updates of the topic. But of course, an overload of information may always seem like a summarization of what others have written about the topic. So that's when research becomes a little bit boring and monotone. You want to actually write about your original argument and then reinforce it by what others have found. All right. So it's think of this as that parlor conversation that I presented to you early in the semester, where we talked about you coming into a room full of people discussing things, and the discussion had started long before you got there, and it continued when you left the room. You go in and you don't know what they're talking about. Everybody's in a heated discussion. You enter the room, you observe, and then you start participating in this discussion. So think of this research project as you entering an academic conversation and observing what others have said, but then having something completely new and a claim of your own, something that you can call your own, and something that others can back you up. All right. So you're not always going to find exactly what you are looking for, but that's okay, because that means that your idea is very original. Okay. So when you're researching, remember, keep that in mind. It is a conversation. You're entering an academic conversation with other writers. Okay. So in a sense, you're having a discussion through writing. And this discussion has been going on forever of the given topic. All right. So every topic has its history of discussions. So I'm sure you'll find plenty of information out there. So sometimes research can be overwhelming because you might not know where to begin. But actually, the first step, is to gather information that you already know about the topic, information that you've been holding on, or that you read somewhere, or you saw a documentary of, or you read it in a book somewhere, and it's information that you already possess. And so there's several ways for you to gather this information, get it out there, put it on a concrete form, writing it down, because ideas are funny. Like I always tell you, they come and then they go. If you didn't write them down, you miss them. All right. And even though this step might seem unnecessary, it is actually one of the most important steps to make it clear to yourself just how much you already know and what else do you want to learn. You may already possess that value information, like I said, or interesting information. And that interesting part of it is what you bring to this topic. All right. What else do you want to discover and then put it in your own perspective? So there are several ways to gather this information. First, you can begin by listing, simply coming up with a list. You've also done clustering. Clustering is just simply bubble maps, right? You brainstorms that way. It's been done. Another thing that we practice in class all through 1301 and also part of this 1302 was free writing. And free writing is a good practice because you are free of everything else and you just start writing and ideas just pour out. Another way would be purpose-based questions. Those are usually the ones that are guided questions. Through some of our reading or writing assignments, I gave you questions and you answered, and that's how your pre-writing came about. For that, if you're looking at a specific audience, then you ask questions about the audience. If you're looking at a specific purpose or you're trying to aim this towards something, then that's when you ask those questions. And I think the whole research project is kind of a combination of a few of these pre-writing strategies. There's more, of course, in your textbook. If you look at chapter 1, there are plenty of strategies discussed there, and they give you examples there. So if you want a little bit more information on how to cluster, how to do purpose-based questions, although in chapter 9 there are several questions that you can use in your research project. All right, so go to chapter 9 in your textbook and you'll find research purpose-based questions, which become really useful when you're trying to come up with a thesis. All right, so start by gathering information. So I'm going to give you some examples. For example, let's say my topic is educational technology, and that could be many things. So I'm going to list everything I know, or forms of it, or even programs in place that already exist. All right, like for example, you're familiar with Google Classroom a little bit. Quizzes, something we used in class. Nearpod, we used all the time in class. Of course, YouTube, which is what we're doing now. There's Blackboard, Skyward, Doc Hub. I don't know if any of you have done Doc Hub. I have personally not done Doc Hub, but I know the district is doing that, and they're having trainings and such things to have teachers interact with this. But as I understand, Doc Hub is something like it helps you annotate documents like PDFs and such. There's also Google Voice, which is something that I use when I call parents from my cell phone. And there's Remind, of course, which I use to communicate with you. And there's Teams, which is another form of kind of like Google Classroom. All right, so this is all what I already know. But I haven't yet come up with like, okay, what about it? All right, so I am kind of interested in Doc Hub right now because that is something that I could use, you could use when you're taking, let's say, the AP exam. All right, they give you a document and you can't like, because of the time constraint, you can't like really print it and waste your time trying to print it when you can just go and annotate that on the screen. Just something pretty exciting. So from this list, I want to actually come up with something that will drive my focus and to see where I can start and research or start searching. Okay, I can't just simply go to the databases because I don't even know what I want, what I'm looking for. So before you get to that step, please take the time to do one of these pre-writing strategies. Alrighty, so maybe a list is not enough to find out what else I want to know. So I will write the following. Maybe I do free writing freely to record my thoughts of what I actually do know about the topic. And of course, the rule about free writing is to write without regards of any other rules, like grammar. And the whole point of free writing is to free yourself of the confines or restrictions that sometimes grammar and syntax or even wording create on thought. They put like this limitation, like, oh my God, you're writing and you come across, okay, I don't know how to spell that. So now you're stuck thinking on how to spell that and you forget your trail of thought. So when you are free writing, you simply write. Misspell the word if you have to, write gibberish if you have to, but just keep writing. That is the number one rule of free writing. And this encourages free thought. In other words, your ideas come out and they are recorded on your paper. And like I said, ideas are funny thing. They come and they go. And if you didn't write them down, you lost them. So when you are doing free writing, think of that as free thought. And that's what you want to do to record your idea. So I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to just hit out real quick. Just to give you an example, not too long of an example. All right. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you see what I'm writing here. I like to type. I've just That is part of my process. I don't actually write on paper most of the time. I just type. This may not be, may or may not be part of my essay. This is not my essay. This is for brainstorming. Just like those bubbles, those clusters that you used to do all the time for, like, let's say, persuasive writing, those bubbles never actually make it into the essay, right? They're just the ideas that come with it. Same here. You don't want to use the phrases here because you're going to have a lot of misspelled words and you're going to have all kinds of gibberish. All right. So my topic was educational technology. And first, I want to put in what I already know. Okay, well, educational technology, it is technology that uh, helps students um, type because then I lose my trail of thought. It is technology that helps students engage. Okay, so I would continue this until I talk about or I've exhausted everything that I'm thinking. All right, so free writing can be as long as a paragraph, can be as long as a whole page, 2 pages. Sometimes when I do free writing by hand, because I don't know, there's something from the hand to the paper, the pen to the paper that allows me to think a little bit more. But when I am writing, um, without being conscious of the video that I'm making, ideas just flow, whether typed or otherwise handwritten. You can do the same. All right. Okay, so what I have here is just some ideas, and I focus on Google Classroom because that's something that's new to me, and I'm always trying to think about how it might help my students. And what the feature that I like about it, and it's probably the easiest thing, just go and share with students there, the streams, because then it's been recorded. Whatever I want to share with you, it's been recorded through the stream, and then you can go and you can actually comment on it. And that's what it does. And so I found this feature, it was really easy, and it has the interface or the interaction of kind of like a Facebook account. And that's something that I can relate to, right? Because I'm always on Facebook. Um, but there's certainly other apps that have the more of the Instagram type of interface that really calls your attention, the different kind of audience, right? So if I'm looking for an older generation like myself, I would definitely love to use Google Classroom because it follows that interface. And so this is something that in talking to you, I'm already finding out. Okay. And notice here I have, I'm going to cut it off because I can go on and on and on. But I talked about the stream and finding out any updates or lessons by the teacher. Everything's just posted there. And then I talked about, which I went off a little bit, in a place of learning, and I ran out of ideas. You see those things there. That's part of free writing. Sometimes you're gonna have those silly little things there, and that's okay because that's part of the process. You know what? This is not my essay. This is brainstorm. All right. It's also a place of writing since it creates spaces. Okay, this is a philosophy that I read about somewhere, and I thought that was interesting. Maybe I can look into that. And so then all of okay, access is something that's really important. So something that I can actually talk about later on in my essay. Oops, I meant to highlight that. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I want to highlight the parts of the ideas. Okay, here I talked about Google Classroom mainly, but I would do this with anything that I'm interested in really. And something that I found out that I didn't know is that I realized that Google Classroom may students may find educational technology engaging because it's speaking their language. Then other thing may be recorded information that has been recorded. That means how anybody can go back and retrieve that information. Okay, it facilitates things for teachers, so it makes things easier. So these are some ideas, and as you can see, even though I just wrote a bunch of nonsense towards the end, you can see that there are some actually good ideas that come out of this. Okay, so don't think of rewriting as something like, oh, I have to do pre-writing. No, this is like what you're going to do. Where am I headed with this? What do I want to find out about educational technology? In this case, that would be my topic. Please do find a topic that you're passionate about. All right. So, when you are formulating a question, after you do this process of finding out everything, you want to formulate a question. And this question is what's going to lead you through the rest of your research. After some free writing or listing or clustering, you should start to wonder what else you want to know. And from this, a research question should arise. So I was writing this, I was already thinking of a question. My topic will no longer just simply be educational technology, but rather that burning question that I've been thinking after I went back and highlighted everything. Now, my question is, how much of a difference does educational technology actually make in a face to face classroom? Obviously, right now we're doing remote learning, and this kind of educational technology is everything because we're remote and we're online, obviously, right? But now I'm kind of thinking ahead, or even into the past, about face to face classroom, because in a face-to-face classroom I see you every day and I can just relay that information in front of you. And well, how much of a difference does it make that I actually use the technology in the classroom? That's my burning question. So now notice my question became more focused. And by the way, the answer to this question that you come up with will be your thesis. What you claim the answer is to that. And I think in this case, now that I think about it, educational technology may be the factor that determines success for many students. It could be the one thing that makes the difference. All right. So that's my claim. Now I have to go out there and start my searching and finding who agrees with me and who disagrees with me and why. So now my research just became really focused. Okay. All right. So then the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how to go into the databases and start that kind of research. Don't forget that this is available in your book. Chapter 9 continues to talk about the question-based, the questions. And chapter 10 is also a guide for MLA and APA style. So I want you to, if you're having doubts about documenting your sources in MLA format, please do go to chapter 10, starts on page 314 of your textbook, to help you guide through the actual citations, works cited, and whatever else you need from there. Okay. All righty. So let's turn our attention to The actual databases. So I'm going to go here and I've preloaded, of course, our ECISD website and, of course, the South Texas College website. All right. So from here, I'm just simply going to go to our school, your campus, and here I'm going to click on departments. Now I'm going to click on the library website, and this is where I'm going to find the one of the databases that is easier to use for us. They've got some shorter articles on there. So let's go to quick links. And then if you look on here, you have some, you even have a citation machine here, Easy Babe. But you want to go to Mac and Via databases. That's the one. All right. And here I will share the password with you on Blackboard. Of course, this is for our school, so I can't share this since I am going to post this on YouTube. I can't actually share our school's password online. So I'm going to go ahead and link that on the Google Classroom. I'm sorry, not Google Classroom, on Blackboard for you. Okay. All right. And so from here, you want to search in the databases. So here you would just type in your topic. Actually, yeah, you want to click on databases over here and then search your topic. So what I like to do is find the databases first. Maybe this one, Discover. But I think EBSCOhost is one of those that has a lot of things. Now, it has 3 stars because this one has rather lengthy. It has rather lengthy articles, and this is what the university or the colleges use the most. All right, EBSCOhost or those kinds of databases. But there's this right now. There's a Britannica, so you can just click on it, and then it'll take you to the website, and you can type in your research there. Education, technology, effects, on. I'm just gonna start with educational technology. Once I start my reading, I can check out the things that it suggests. Okay, and now it took me to the phonograph, the modern homework, some of those. If I'm not liking this, I can always go to another database. All right, so these are some examples. Now, if I don't like it, I can just go back to Mac and Via and try EBSCOhost. It's one of those that I like better. Continue. Oh, sorry. Let's try that one. Now I am going to plug in what I'm looking for. Educational technology. And you're going to have to be patient, all right? Which is why I gave you a whole week to just be looking for whatever it is that you want, okay? New power networks in educational technology, that might not be what I'm looking for. The individual subject, distributed cognition in the field of educational technology. This might be something that's under that my topic. You see, when I tell you that titles need to be content specific, this is why. This is why, because from the title, I want to know if this is going to be helpful for me. Okay. So this one, student society in the 2020s. Hey, that's pretty relevant right now. I could use that. All right. So then I go here and click on it, and it gives me the option to put in my Google Drive, to print it, to email, to save. All right. Okay. So that's through the district website. Let me just show you the South Texas way to do it. The easiest way is to go to the website itself and then I usually just type in library. I'm not gonna go wasting time looking for the where it is, and it's the first one there. And same here. What I want to do is don't go over here to the search. That's for the website search. You want to go to the discovery search, and I would even click on databases. But I like it like this better because you just put in the the topic. Click it, if keyword's not clicked on there, click on it. Search. And here gives me plenty of articles. Now, like I said, it's gonna take you some time to go through these. All right. And if you're having internet issues, you need to let me know. And perhaps I can help you in directing you to what things work better for you. Okay. So now that I've come to educational technology, it gives me a lot of things. Okay. Now, technology education for teachers. Okay. This might be something that I might be interested in only because I'm an educator. So I'm going to look at details, and the databases have anything from articles all the way to books and textbooks about it. Now it is going to ask you to sign in with your South Texas College ID because these are databases and they are very expensive sources. So they do ask you to sign in. So it's your JAGNet credentials or your Blackboard credentials to sign in. And then it'll take me to the book or whatever I looked at. All right. Now this is an ebook. That means I'm going to do a lot of searching, which is okay because sometimes ebooks are like a little gold mine. In one book, you find a lot of other things, a lot of other articles that come that are about the topic that are for or against. So it's like they just put them together in one book, printed, and then there you have it. So here, what I can do is actually click on it. You can look at the full text. That's what I recommend. You can download it. Now, sometimes it's an ebook, it'll ask you to check it out, which is digital checkout, which is not a big deal. All right, so in this specific thing, I have, what I tell you, gold mine. The best way to do when you come to a book like this is go to the table of contents. All right, and here you'll have several articles that deal with this. So notice that there are several authors, and all of these people wrote technology articles and then they put them in one big book. All right, which is really good. So then let's say, for example, that I'm looking for technology, teaching technology. So that is about teaching. So I might not be interested in that, but the next article, learning in technology, that may, excuse me, talk about the impact that it has on students. So that's an article that's worth my reading, worth my time reading. Okay. And let's say that I only choose one article from here, and that's great. You know, I'm only going to look at page 55 through page 92. Now, some of these articles may be lengthier, but it doesn't mean that you can't use them. You can use so much from them. You can just use one section, you can use whatever else. Okay, so and these articles sometimes talk about what others have been saying about the topic, which leads you to other sources, which is great. Just don't try not to go too deep into the rabbit hole because it becomes a cycle. The best part of this is using these type of databases is that I can just cite my work here. I click on that feature right there, and lo and behold, it gives me the citation that can go straight into my works cited page. Okay, so here it is. Williams John. The only thing change that I would do here is add the name, because this is for the book. This is the editor of the book. So what I'm going to add here is the name of the article and the name of the actual author that wrote the article that I am reading. Okay, because I'm not going to cite the entire book. That would be only if we were citing the entire book. In this case, I'm not. I would only be looking at one author, so I would include that there. Copy and paste this into your works cited. Add the two things, and then you're done with that. Okay, so this is a walkthrough of the data, one database. There's many others, and there's some articles that are ready to be printed or ready to be read online. You can put it on your Google Drive, you can download it, whatever it is that you needed to do. Okay. All right. So as you're coming up with those results, you're going to have to sift through a lot of these things. There are some here that have absolutely nothing, or it may be too much. All right. Learning disability sourcebook, basic consumer health. This might not be dealing with technology at all. This popped up because it talks about education. So maybe I need to narrow down my search. Okay. And so that's the kind of thing that you do. Okay. How much a technology successful, typing keywords that might bring up what you're looking for. Right. Okay. Excuse me. I think for this video, again, I think this is it. I'm looking at the proposal. This is the first thing that you're going to turn into me by April 28th on the Blackboard. All right. And take the highlighted part and then writing your own topic there. So it starts off as, for example, here, race and ethnicity. And then the question that I came up with that should, the template, should racial profiling be a legitimate law enforcement policy in some areas? So now notice how narrow that question is. You need to bring it down, narrow it down. There's so much on race and ethnicity. What about it do you want to learn? So that's the question that pops up. And then your response is that thesis. Racial profiling is unacceptable or should not be included in law enforcement policy because, and then your reasons why you think that. All right. So here for this particular page, fill in the highlighted with your very own topic. Okay, I want to warn you to stay away from, oops, wrong page. Stay away from things like abortion and gun control and legalization of marijuana. Everything has been said about those topics. And let me tell you, it is, first of all, it's, as a reader, it is very important for me to read this because I've read many papers on those topics. So stay clear of those. Come up with something that you are truly passionate about. All right. Something that you're interested in or something that you may also pursue later on. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that is it for today. And if you have questions, please do let me know. You can send me a message, email, remind, or text through Google Voice, and or also through Blackboard or Google Classroom. Just find a way to communicate to me that you are having trouble, and I could meet with you on, if we have to, on Google Hangouts or something like that. Okay. Well, I hope you do well, and if you have questions, again, let me know. I'll walk you through things. And I hope that you stay safe and that you are doing well. And I miss you, and I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.